TD, Info Joe, Teal Nation, Strut Nation. Welcome to 54 minutes of the Beck Dynasty begins. Rich Rod took it on the chin. Win again. That's Beck to Beck wins. Think we'll lose? That's a fluke. Jared Brown left you with a juke. There's a million other things in this world I'd rather be than a Duquesne Duke. Shot tackles you can't elude. Nivers got you barbecued. If you don't know, you just got clued. This show is TD and two other dudes. 234 Hut, you're listening to The Strut. And Joe and TD, tonight's episode brought to you by the Alumni Association is entitled The Dukes of Allegheny County.
The Dukes of Allegheny County. Welcome in, gentlemen, and welcome in all the Teal Nation and Strut Nation. Look, let me get one thing straight. It is not Duquesne. It is Duquesne. And I had somebody ask me that at the hospital. They said, "Who is Duquesne?" I said, "I don't know. It sounds like a TV movie tray you put in a microwave and warm up. I don't know, man."
I would have said he's over there.
He's Duquesne's over. Dr. Duquesne's over there. No, hey, Duquesne. We'll talk about them a little later on. But gentlemen, again, good to see everybody back. The Sunday Strut was a hit for all the listeners, all the Strutties that listened to it. Thank you so much. We did that for you all. We heard feedback. We also talked about it, and we wanted to start doing that right after the game. So, again, thank you so much, and thank you to all the sponsors who we'll highlight throughout the show. But, gentlemen, quickly, round the horn, since we spoke Sunday, how's your week?
Week's been great. Had a great coaches show last night with Coach Beck. You know, it was probably the best one yet, and we're going to continue to get even better as he kind of gets a little more comfortable in that setting, and he and I get the chance to work together. But it was a great night. I've had volleyball for a couple of nights too, and got another one tomorrow night. It's been busy, but looking forward to Saturday and 7 o'clock kickoff.
Joe, you said looking forward to Saturday at a 7 o'clock kickoff. I just want to reiterate. You just said you're looking forward to Saturday a 7 o'clock kickoff.
Did I say that? Hang on, hold on.
You
Well,
You did say that. You did say that.
Well, I did say that, but here's the thing. You know,
Here's the caveat.
I lobbied our AD and president to move it to a 12 noon kick. I didn't get it, so I am looking forward to Saturday. That part I'm looking forward to.
Okay, that's fair.
They didn't take me up on the offer, so.
Well, there's always the next time we played Duquesne.
Whoever he is.
Chili, how was your week, buddy?
You know, back in the day, they were one of the top college football teams in the country. When you go back in the 30s and 40s, I mean, they were really good. You know,
they have a good
look at their history
too.
You know, I think they won the Orange Bowl. Was it late 30s? You know, they had something going on.
Yeah, Duquesne. With all jokes aside, they actually have a lot of. Again, we'll get to it. I know Chili. There's going to be some good information, and he's going to have a dag blasted poll question for me, and I'm sure it's going to be followed up with: does our football team wear cleats or cleats for Joe? I'm sure that'll be followed up with something.
Joe,
like that.
I'll just go ahead and say, Joe, your question this week is much harder than last week.
Yeah.
What color is our football field?
Yeah. What color is our football
field?
That's too
easy.
Yeah.
It's green.
What is the letter? You know, what is the first letter of Duquesne? Anyways, Chili, how was your week, buddy?
It's good. I've had a lot of fun monitoring what's happened since we dropped the Sunday Strut. And I got to be honest with you, you guys get more feedback directly than I do. I just kind of look at the numbers and how it's going. And about what we've seen so far since the Sunday Strut was dropped, Strut Nation has showed up for that quick game wrap up, whatever we want to call it, on the Sunday Strut, excuse me. But thank you to Strut Nation for maybe sharing that idea out. We delivered it to you, and clearly it's something you want to keep. And I think, TD, Joe, I think that's something we probably should keep in the arsenal now, because the Sunday Strut was a good idea. And I guess we can just say we look forward to those from now on, because it was fun getting with you guys Sunday afternoon and just talking about some numbers and what we saw and sharing a few points, and then the end of the show.
Go ahead, Joe. Forgive me.
I want to say, yes, I enjoyed that tremendously, because it's still fresh in our minds what just happened. Right, not even 24 hours prior, but we have some time to kind of collect our thoughts, and kind of things can kind of coalesce in our minds, and we can come to it with maybe more of an analytical approach. I mean, yeah, there are good things. There are things we need to improve on. We saw that, and we can go at it that way, as opposed to some, rapid fire hot take, 2 seconds after the game or even in game or something like that. I mean, we have time to kind of digest what we've seen and then come to it and go around the horn and do it quickly. We were in and out about 25 minutes the other day. I love that. So
yeah, great
we want
feedback.
To keep that going. Yeah.
Yeah, great feedback. And again, hey, when you get feedback from folks like Brandon Dunn and Andrew Dockery, Teagan Brown, who are in media, if you will, that's where when you get feedback from them going, loved it, hit it perfect. You were on point, as in the show was on point. I was off point. They told me, I don't know why you're on there. Just it should be TD, shut up and let the other two guys talk. But again, Brandon Dunn, Andrew Dockery, and Teagan Brown, again, two WNBF and WPD correspondents there. Again, I know that's sports and weather, but again, thank you all. Thank you for those three that listened and the feedback you gave. But quickly, the week that was for the Daly House, Chili. Mad Dog starts football this week.
There we go.
9-10. They got him at he's playing as the backup quarterback, receiver, DB, and strong side linebacker. I said,
skill man. He's all the skill positions.
I said, someone will treat you like Little Johnson. I'm gonna give you some Alka-Seltzer. You got to get that good foam going, and or be like the Alabama A&M coach. Halfway through his interview today, did y'all see that? He said, we got some dogs, and he starts barking, starts dark. I'm like, whoa. Easy, Bubba.
Who do you think he is? David Bennett?
David Bennett, come on now. Anyways, well, let's get right into it. And but I think first, Chili, we got to thank a sponsor, don't we?
Yeah, let's talk about Bob Baldwin, Coastal Carolina class of 2011. When you think Coastal and your marketing needs, think Coastal Marketing. Go see Bob Baldwin at Coastal Marketing. Coastal Marketing is the official merchandise supporter of the Strut Podcast. So let's dive into some Duquesne stuff. A little history, because TD, you did kind of cue me up on that very well, and I appreciate that. Duquesne, Joe, as you know,
Duquesne.
Thank you. Duquesne was originally called the Holy Ghost College, and it was founded in 1878. It was named for the governor of then New France. TD, listen to this. Michel Angers Duquesne de Minville.
Bless you.
I named it. Yep. He passed away, by the way, on September 17th, and our game this Saturday is on September 16th. So I don't really want Duquesne coming in to remember Michel Angers Duquesne de Minville. Duquesne has a campus in Italy near the Vatican, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They have an extension campus not far from the actual Vatican City. Notable alumni. I thought this was really interesting, guys, especially for sports historians, Joe, like you. The late ESPN NFL analyst John Clayton, graduate of Duquesne.
Oh, how about that?
NASCAR owner Chip Ganassi is a Duquesne graduate. Pittsburgh Steelers owners Art and Dan Rooney are Duquesne graduates, and their football stadium is Rooney Field.
Yep.
And former Los Angeles Lakers star Norm Nixon played at Duquesne. TD, in case you're curious, the motto is, "It is the spirit that gives life." Their mascot's name is the Duke.
The Duke.
They meet us.
John Wayne? John Wayne's their mascot?
They have John Wayne on their helmets. Joe, you got a John Wayne impression queued up. Duquesne comes to us Saturday at 1-1. They defeated Edinburgh 49-7, lost to West Virginia 56-17. They have no rushing TDs on the season so far, but their leading rusher is a guy named Taj Butts. Their quarterback, Darius Parantes, 21 of 44 for 2 INTs. Daryl Powell, leading receiver, 6 catches for 132 yards, 3 touchdowns. Leading tackler is Antonio Epps. Second is Davia Gabor with 11 tackles. And as a team, they have 3 interceptions on the year. You have just met the Duquesne Dukes.
Chili, that was a great rundown, man. Fantastic. Yes, it was. That was hey, that was not saying the ones in the past were bad, but that was great, man.
I'm going to take a nap now. Hey, I'm a little tired from that.
I do have a question though. did anywhere in your research, y'all? By the way, for all the Struddies out there in Teal Nation, Chili does a wonderful job of researching this, and this is a very sincere question.
That I do.
Why do they have the chevron logoing on their helmet like Temple does with?
Give me a second. I will look that up.
Awesome. Because I couldn't find it, but I appreciate that.
Let me look that up while Joe talks and you bloviate. Go.
Got it. Yeah, we'll put that up there. We'll matriculate. Joe,
That's our word.
from
That's our word.
Joe from the headset, what do you see about the Dukes?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get a handle, on these guys. Just trying to talk to, asking coach last night at the show. I mean, they're going to do some things that we probably won't expect, just like Jacksonville State did.
Yep.
The way they played defense and they brought that safety down in there and they showed us a look that we hadn't seen. I would imagine that Duquesne will probably do the same thing. I don't want, maybe not necessarily that kind of concept, but they'll do some things like, stand up at the line of scrimmage on defense, run around, jump around, just, do strange things, perhaps. Like Chili said, they beat Edinburgh in their first game, and then they lost to West Virginia last week. They're not going to be awed coming to our place. I'm not expecting that. And they've got some pretty good athletes. I mean, they've got some decent players. I mean, and they've got a decent history in the Northeast Conference. So, I mean, their quarterback, Parentes, who Chili mentioned, I don't know if anybody recognizes that last name, but his brother played basketball at Virginia 4 or 5 years ago. London Parentes, and he was a pretty good player. So there's some athletic genes in that family. So, they're going to come out and throw the ball around. Last week they took the opening kickoff against West Virginia and went down to score. I mean, right on the field, right on the board right away. So if they come out and do that Saturday night, don't be terribly surprised. West Virginia eventually, obviously, took control of the game and went on to win. So watch for them to try to do different things. To try to keep us off balance. Try some tricks, whatever. Try to throw the ball around. I mean, again, on paper, yeah, Coastal should win this game, but it doesn't happen on paper. Hopefully, we can begin to make inroads to get our running game going. I know that we talked about that a little bit on the show last night. Coach and I did. Offensive line play improved, he thought, from game 1 to game 2, and hopefully we can get these guys, the running backs and our offensive line, moving the ball on the ground, because we're going to need to do that. So that's just kind of my 30,000 foot look at it. I know TD broken down some film. You've taken a closer look at it, so kind of tell us what you think.
Yeah, Joe, I think you touched on a few things that I'm gonna open up a little bit for just a couple minutes. Is one, look, this is for those that don't understand this. Again, when I played, this is a get right game. This is not you don't get cocky, you don't get overconfident, but it's a get right game. And what I mean by that is one, you go out and you want a clean game. Clean game means this: you clean on offense, clean on defense, clean on special teams. Nobody gets injured. All right, that's the one thing. You want to get multiple quarterbacks in. You want to get multiple position players in. You want multiple players at every aspect of the game to get their experience, right? To be able to make, get their first tackle, get their first reception, get their first few plays, to knock either some rust off or, good game to, you get your second and third unit guys in, right? You put some things in that maybe you wouldn't have tried. You put some things on film, but ultimately your goal is to have a clean offensive, defensive, special team game with nobody hurt. Offensively, we need to run our package, right? Joe, you nailed it. I think one thing that we can do is we've got to get on the edge. We've got to get on the edge, and then we've got to be able to bust the A gap. The one thing I saw that West Virginia was able to do is really work within the A gap and then ultimately get on the edge from a run perspective. I think that's one thing. Again, there's no particular play. It's just getting the A gap and getting to the edge. Once we've established that, you've established play action. We need to work our concept plays where, just our basic routes, our square ends, our deep post. And one thing that, look, we're going to out-athlete them at the end of the day, right? Again, I say all this humbly for those that listen. I'm confident. I'm not cocky about it. But at the end of the day, we should put 4, 5, 6 touchdowns on them. That is what should be done, right? In-game goal here is hold them close to a donut and score 49, right? That's what your in-game goal is. But again, offensively, work the A gap, work off the edge, work your passing tree. There's no magic, analysis that I'm gonna give offensively, because defensively they run a classic 4-3, but they'll rock the linebacker down to the strong side or weak side, like a 4-2 eagle weak. Against West Virginia, they ran a lot of cover 2, a lot of quarters coverage to make sure they could try to keep an umbrella to keep the athletes in front of them. So that's going to open up Sam Pinckney, Jared Brown, and some of the other receivers to get open underneath, especially our tight ends. This might be a big week for the tight ends, gentlemen. You're going to see our tight ends probably get a lot of targets this week. Again, that's something that whether you watched Edinburgh or you watched West Virginia, and I watched last year when they played Florida State. Again, got to get the tight end. They're not going to be, to Joe's point, they're not going to be wooed or awed of anything. They played at Florida State in front of 60, 70,000. They played in front of West Virginia, 67,000. It's not going to – they're not going to do anything. Defensively, they're going to come out in a shotgun pro-style offense. They're going to work the A-gap tackle. Their offense is going to be very similar to our offense. The one thing I would say is defensively, look for a trick play early, right? Some type of halfback pass, some type of reverse, some type of misdirection concept in the passing game, because they're going to try to get a quick strike. To Joe, to your point, that 38-yard pass that they got on the first drive versus West Virginia, followed by a very good special teams play where they covered. They're going to play hard, man. In all 4 games that I broke down, they're going to play hard. So Strut Nation, Till Nation, I don't have any of the in-depth analysis. I did my due diligence like I always do. But at the end of the day, it's a pro-style shotgun offense against, and they're going to run a 4-3 defense where they rock somebody down, run some Tampa 2. They're going to run some quarters. They're going to run some nickel out there, if you will. But again, our athletes in space offensively, A-gap, get to the edge, work the tight end, and then defensively keep everything in front of you, make the tackle. Again, there's nothing real in-depth I need to offer.
TD, I got my hand raised.
Oh,
quick
you found the
question
answer
for you.
Oh.
I have been looking for tight ends to get more involved. So, in your opinion, what do you see happening as far as a way to get the tight ends involved? Is it going to be going down the field with them, maybe over the middle? What do you see happening?
So one thing, the last 2 weeks, great question, Chili. For those, the Chili's question, you kind of teed me up well, is Grayson and our offense line. I have to remember, just like we said on the Sunday Strut, I have to remember this is Grayson's only second and now third game, as well as everybody else's in this offense, right? So it's going to take some time. Unlike the previous offense under the previous staff, there's still protection calls. These protection calls are as simple as they are different, right? So Grayson has to get him in the right protection call. To your point, to your question, Chili, is how you get the tight end involved. Some mini boots, play action, mini boot off, get Grayson to the edge, dump it off to the tight end on some arrow routes, some square outs, some flag routes, and ultimately too, get them to hitch, get them to hook over top of the center, the A gap on some play actions. To Joe's point, they're probably going to bring some unique blitzes to us because they're going to try to get some pressure on us. Because if I were them, and I've seen the last 2 weeks where we're having some challenges just getting our protection orientation before the snap and then ultimately sealing that up during the play, I'd bring some exotic blitzes too that maybe aren't on film. So I noticed that, Joe, to your point, that Joe nailed it. They're going to, if I were them, I'd bring some safety blitz, cat blitz. I'd be bringing, twists with, some delayed blitz. I would be doing that all day to try to confuse our offensive line and just create some havoc along the front there. But that's where the tight end can come in. If we can detect that blitz, that's where a quick arrow route, a quick seam route, a quick hitch over top of the or square in over top of the A gap right there. Chili, I think this is a big week for our tight ends. That's actually a great week to get our tight ends on film, especially with Georgia State coming up on a short week in 4 days afterwards. I think putting that on film more so than ever would be a good time. I think Joe's got a point to make too here.
Not really. I'm just getting kind of comfortable. I'm just kind of listening to it.
Oh, I thought you leaned down.
Joe's he's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
Nah.
I'm just listening to trying to
Chili,
get
great
myself
question.
situated better here.
I just have one more quick one, and we'll go to the next thing. Is TD for the casual Coastal fan who likes going to the games, loves football. Can you differentiate for fans who are watching? When is it a play where we out athleted somebody versus where we out schemed or out called a play better than somebody? Can you go through that a little bit for people who are the casual fan who might need to know the difference between here's a better athlete versus here's a better call?
I can answer that question.
Jared Brown.
Joe, same question.
That's exactly.
Jared Brown.
Jared Brown, 77-yard reverse the other day. Jack
Jared
State
Brown.
had 2 guys that were there. One guy who certainly should have made a play, and he didn't. Why?
Yep, Sam
Because
Pinckney.
he got out-athleted.
Sam
had a
Pinckney
difference
at
maker.
UCLA.
We had a difference maker in Jared Brown there, a game changer. That's out-athleting somebody.
Yeah.
So what originally I thought was a really good, well thought out question is just
No, it is though.
Well,
no, it's a fair question though. So
it was a question. I can put you that way.
thank you, Joe. Thank you.
see, Chili, I think it was a fair question. Here's why. Jared Brown's play, but UCLA is another example, right? Concept wise, play call wise versus UCLA. We saw something.
Mm-hmm.
Joe asked it on the coaches show. hey, coach, why do we keep getting somebody off sides? Is it the call? Is it what are we doing here? Grayson's watching a film. He's picking up on indicators of who is going to blitz and or the aggressiveness of the play calling, right, for the defensive coordinator. And so he could pick up on that. And then did you notice it was constantly the same route? It was just all it was an 8 to 12, deep curl route or deep arrow route to the sideline. That's all it is a deep out right there. And so that was a hot route. So if all of a sudden the receiver looks up and it's a hot call where he realizes ball's been snapped, but the line's not moving, he knows immediately I'm running an 8 to 12 yard out. I just need to get into my route. Grayson's going to get the ball out because we've already got 5 yards. Now let's get a first down, right? So to your point, that's where concept is not necessarily just athleticism. Athleticism was Jared Brown and ultimately Sam Pinckney at UCLA, where he absolutely mossed and dominated their defensive backs all night. That was pure athleticism, right? Because all that was Grayson's going to say, I'm going to throw it up, big guy. You go do you. And he did. That's what he did. Sam Pinckney showed why if he is not drafted late day 2, day 3, somebody has really missed the value on that young man. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, he showed against Power 5 talent. He's got no problem hanging in there with him.
Gotcha. The guy for the Jets the other night who caught that touchdown pass late in the game, which I think gave them the lead or tied the game. Perhaps it was supposed to be a back shoulder, and Zach Wilson threw it in front of him. He went up with his right hand, kind of, and just that's an athlete making a play. And I don't want to say that reverse was all. It was. We set that up. The concept was great. We set that up very nicely. We got the flow going one way. Jack State had one guy really there. Another who was coming on, who really probably, I don't think would have gotten there. Jared made the one guy that he had to miss. He made that one guy miss that he had to, he had to beat that one guy, and he beat him. And then you had a couple of other guys who you thought might have had an angle.
And they did have an angle.
And
they did have an angle.
Well, and then they didn't.
They didn't.
And then they didn't because that's athletes making plays.
Concept
beautiful
athlete.
to watch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Concept athlete. That's what Trickett talked about when he came on. Is my job is to put guys, and Coach Beck talks about it. Our job is to put guys in winnable situations, successful situations. Let them be them, which is Sam, which was Jared, and I'm interested to put a bow on it. Got to put a bow. I hadn't said it in weeks, man. I had to.
That's on the card, though, TD.
It's on the card. It's on the bingo card. So
he has no idea.
Right here is when are we going to get Braden Bennett on a nice screen pass, right? Set that up to where you absolute give world-class speed the opportunity to get in space. That's what I'm looking for this week, is to build some confidence in not only our run game, but also our screen game. So that's something else to think about too is,
And to dovetail off you, TD, Duquesne decided to go to the different look to convey a sense of pride, strength, and ferocity, as well as pay homage to their heritage by going to the different design with the D and the chevron, going the whatever is it, chevron? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a chevron.
Going down the middle of the helmet. So that was a different marketing look they went to about 2 or 3 years ago, and that's across the board in all their sports.
It's a good look, man. It's a good look. I give them credit for that. I think I'll tell you what, man, Joe, if I want to get a good cold beer and a great burger or chicken fingers, where am I going to go before Saturday's game at 7? If not a tailgate.
What a segue. TD, this is great. So Hanley's Pub, CCU class of 2002, the official pub of the Strut podcast, located in Carolina Forest. We will see you at your local pub, Hanley's in Carolina Forest. And if you go in there and you see my daughter Sarah, who works there, tell her that she's annoying, that her dad says she's annoying. She'll get a kick out of that. She'll love it. We went there the night before we traveled I went there with Sarah the night before we went to UCLA. And it was a great time. Got great food. It was a great atmosphere. Spent some time with my kid out there before we hit the plane to go to the left coast. But Hanley's Pub, we'll see you over there. We'll see you over there.
That's right.
Well done. So it's time to go around the belt. And in this segment, we're also going to check out just how bad Joe is beating us when it comes to Sunbelt picks. Joe, you sent me a text a couple days ago, and you said, I feel like I'm doing pretty well in my Sunbelt picks. Well, Here's the results from this past week, and then I'll do the overall results, and then we can jump into what we think is going to happen. Joe, last week you went 12-1. That's pretty
Did
stellar.
I really? I mean,
Yeah, you went 12-1. I'll go
okay.
back and look at the chart here in a second, see which one you missed. I think it was one that we all missed, actually.
Well, see,
TD, you and I went 10-3.
okay.
Let me tell you something. On a parlay card, I'll take that all day long, man.
I thought I went. I thought I went 11-2. To be honest with you, I thought I lost Troy, Kansas State, and I thought I lost UConn and Georgia State for some reason.
It was the UConn Georgia State game. We all three picked UConn on that one.
Okay.
That's what got you, Joe.
Okay.
Overall, Joe, you are 22-5 on the season. TD, you and I are tied at 20-7. So you said last week that it was I guess what was it, decision making Saturday or whatever, and Joe, clearly you had better decision making than the two of us did. So congratulations, Joe.
It's
for
just,
now,
it's just blind luck, man. I'm just
you
going
are the
down
lead
list.
dog.
I'm going Joe's losers here. So and so's going to lose this week too. So we'll see.
I'll go ahead and give us a quick rundown of who's playing and whatnot, and we'll just go from there. Starting off, we've got Wake Forest travels to Old Dominion. Georgia Southern travels to Wisconsin. East Carolina at App State. ULM goes to Texas A&M. Tulane at Southern Miss. Georgia State at Charlotte. Ooh La La at UAB.
Culture.
Culture. Stony Brook at Arkansas State. TD, say their name again for me.
Well, who's this?
Our opponent this week.
DeQuizna.
DeQuizna comes to Coastal. South Alabama at Oklahoma State. Kurt Signetti's ego travels to Troy. And Jackson State travels to Texas State.
God, he's a Richard. Oh, man. Anyways. All right, let's start from the top, man.
Let's do it.
Let's rapid fire this thing.
So you want me to start? Joe, you should get to choose. Do you go first or second? Because
he does have honors.
First.
He does have honors.
First.
He has honors.
Old Dominion will lose to Wake Forest.
Yep.
Okay.
Georgia Southern will lose to Wisconsin.
Yep.
East Carolina will lose to App State.
I concur.
ULM is going to lose to Texas A&M.
I also concur.
Now here comes one that I'm not all that sure of. I'm gonna say Southern Miss is gonna lose to Tulane.
Pratt got hurt, or he's out for Tulane. Tulane should have beat Ole Miss.
Who got hurt for Tulane?
Pratt, the starting quarterback. He's either hurt or out. Something's up. However, the backup came in and they still had a chance to beat Ole Miss. And in all honesty, they should have beat Ole Miss.
Okay, well I'll stick with what I got then.
So I'm still going Tulane.
Okay, I'm going to say that Charlotte's going to lose to Georgia State. Made me a believer. I believe in Georgia State. Yep. Charlotte will lose to Georgia State.
I also concur.
Hold on, I'm trying to look off my.
You got App State, East Carolina. That's the next one.
Right? Let's see. Well, I've already got that one.
Oh, that's right. The next one I have is Louisiana versus UAB.
Yeah, I'm going Louisiana is going to lose to UAB.
TD.
I'm going UAB as well.
Ooh, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to pick Ooh La La on that one.
Ooh, okay. All right.
UAB, if that game was in Birmingham instead of Statesboro,
it is in Birmingham.
I'm thinking the week prior versus Georgia Southern. I think home field played a good bit into that tight game. What a great game that game was too. And I go back to it. If UAB ever leaves, that would be I know Troy and South Alabama wouldn't want to pick them up, but that would be a good strategic pickup. But I digress. But I'm gonna go UAB.
Here comes the next one on the board. And then this, I'm not even sure. This is, Stony Brook is going to lose to Arkansas State, but this could be 2-0 or 3-2. Who knows? I mean, this just will not be good football at all, in my opinion. One man's opinion.
Well, what's the spread? Picked Stony Brook over Arkansas State.
What's the spread?
I have no clue. I haven't even looked. Don't even care. Arkansas State's a mess. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Stony Brook.
There you go.
Interesting.
Look, you got to take a chance, man. House money.
Yeah, might as well. It is. Yeah.
Because At this point, if it's a wash and they pull it off, let me tell you something. I will say this right now: if Stony Brook beats Arkansas State, how do you retain Butch Jones? I'm sorry, like I'm not calling for somebody to be fired, but at the same time, how do you retain Butch Jones after the first two embarrassing loss? And if you lose to Stony Brook, an
Yeah, if they
FCS
lose,
team,
if they lose to Stony Brook, there's real trouble in Jonesboro.
oh man,
Real trouble.
no, there's already real trouble. That's just where you might just light the match and let the gasoline take over, man. That's
I'm not going to go there, but I'm just going to say they're going to be in trouble if they lose that game. But where are we now? South Allen, Oklahoma
we
State.
picked Duquesne. I guess we're all picking Coastal to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we
We're
got
picking
South
Coastal.
Al, Oklahoma State, JMAD, Troy, and Jackson State, Texas State.
I'm going. Go ahead.
I like South Al to lose to Oklahoma State, but I think that game will be close.
Again, I'm going Oklahoma State as well. JMU will beat Troy.
Ooh.
Man, I hope not. Jeez.
I'm just telling you, man. Look,
I'm going Troy. The Troy's at home.
Going Troy.
I'm going Troy. James Madison, I hope, will lose to Troy.
Me too. Trust me. I don't like Coach Richard at JMU, but he's.
I think he does a lot of that on purpose. I really do. I think a lot of that is just whatever. But
yeah, but I also eat a lot of salads on purpose. Doesn't mean I'm gonna lose weight. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean,
That's well said.
That is profound.
That is really good, TD.
That is profound. Jackson State and Texas State. I tell you what,
Texas State.
You like Texas State in this one?
Yeah, look, they didn't play terrible against UTSA. I just think they just couldn't. I think there was that program coming off the Baylor. That is my concern with JMU. But I think Signetti, Coach Richard up there, he is better at. God, I can't believe I'm giving this guy a compliment. But Coach Richard at JMU, he is. Look, you got to give him credit where credit's due.
You absolutely do.
He'll have his guys ready for Troy.
Yeah.
Don't think Texas State was ready coming off of Baylor for UTSA, and even then they didn't play. I mean, they played awful, but they were never out of it, right? So I think they come back and they win that game.
Okay. Jackson State will lose to Texas State.
I have Texas State as well. So if you're not picking Jackson State and you lose your confidence, are you saying that Jackson State has passed their prime?
Oh,
Jesus Christ! He's been waiting on that one, hasn't he?
He has been waiting on that.
I actually just thought of it. So whatever. Twitter results. So I had one that just came out today, and I gave it like a few hours to go through.
You let it marinate, huh? You let it marinate?
Marinate a little bit more like a microwave. Who or what is changing the game more right now? Your choices were Coach Prime, the play clock rule, or conferences moving around. What do you guys think?
Conferences moving around is what I chose. I'm not going to lie to you.
I put Prime, but then again, I didn't scroll down far enough to see conferences moving around, so I probably should have picked that one.
That's the one
I saw like the first two choices. I thought, well, it's Prime. Prime's a big story, but no, not really. Not when it comes to conferences moving or all that kind of stuff.
The second poll we had was which word/phrase described the win we had Saturday. You had 4 options: trust the process, character, opportunistic, or big plays. The overwhelming winner was trust the process. I was really happy to see that one.
I mean, yeah, that's a good, man. That's good. That's good that Struddies and Teal Nation did that.
And then we had this one was our player of the game from Saturday. We had Liam Gray, Evan Crenshaw, the defense, or Jared Brown. Jared Brown won overwhelmingly. And for the second or third straight week, we've had at least 2 or 3 Twitter voting, I guess, overall numbers where we've had well over triple digits people voting. So people are listening. People are paying attention to Twitter, and we appreciate that interaction because the interaction kind of brings you in with us, and we enjoy that when y'all take part in our festivities here. You cover a lot of ground. TD, who else could help you cover some ground?
Somebody else that could help us cover some ground, and I could see Joe just kind of smirking there. Joe, is there somebody you think of?
TD, I'm thinking about moving over that way. I'm trying to talk Lenny into doing it. I want to move that way. I want to come to Horry County, the beach. What in the name of Sam Hill do I need to do?
You need to contact Dan Signs Realty. Dan Signs at Dunes Realty Realty done right. Dan is a class of 2001 grad. He's a good friend of the show, been a firm listener since day one. We're very honored and proud of that. But again, Dan Sign at Dunes Realty. Again, Realty done right. So, gentlemen, if you yourself want to come live next door to TD here on the corner of 9th and Collins in downtown historic Conway, or be at the Sun and the Fun in the Sand, give Dan Signs at Dunes Realty a call. Remember, Dan Signs, Dunes Realty, Realty done right.
Well done, TD.
Well done. If we move right next to you, we'd have to put up signs. Have to put TD, and then we'd have to put one. Have to guy right here.
Guy one, guy
one,
two.
guy two.
So we should go for Halloween, like have TD, like Dr. Seuss. Joe, you and I could be thing 1 and thing 2.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it.
Lord mercy, it's getting deep. It's getting
So
deep.
TD, before we get into trivia, I just want to say something real quick.
Wait a minute, time out. Let me change channels.
You said timeout? Hold on.
Time
Hold
out. That's on your bingo card. Timeout's on your bingo card.
Wait a minute.
Chili, if I'm changing a channel,
Joe,
what are the things that
wait
we
a minute.
love?
Joe, bingo.
You got it. Oh,
I got
man.
bingo. TD, we actually have bingo cards we're playing this week. We're going to tweet out what they look like. But I got Joe. I've got going down on. I had a different card from you. I have welcome, gives out address, mentions Kurt Signetti, inside the helmet, and in timeout. That was the 5 I have going down.
Man.
Hey, can we get those out to the listeners? That way
I'm
they
gonna
can all
make some
get
more,
bingo.
yeah.
Card. There you go. Chili, if I was just happen to turn from the Braves game to, I don't know, maybe some great movie that's on TV, what kind of commercial would I see on TV tonight?
Well, I was just sitting here kind of adjusting, and maybe I should go by and see Dr. David Turner, Doctor of Chiropractic and Coastal Class of 1997 of Impact Chiropractic. He's been practicing in Conway for more than 20 years. Dr. Turner believes in a proactive, wellness-based approach to achieving optimal health and function for the entire family. At Impact Chiropractic, we work hard to grow healthy kids rather than fix damaged adults.
He does do that, man.
Very
he
nice.
does do that.
Yes, he
he
does.
does do that.
Yep.
And I don't want to disappoint any of our Strut Nation, whatever we're calling ourselves this week, but there's no commercial from me this week. Quite frankly, I couldn't come up with a fake ad that poked fun of the school's mascot, the Duke, by saying something like, it looks like the Grinch and the Smurf had a kid. It was difficult to talk about the fact that Duquesne's stadium was once the main parking lot of the campus. That stadium today holds 2,200 people, and I think it might have held the same number of cars. I refuse to talk about the comparison of acceptance rate versus grad rate versus affordability by saying that in order to get into Duquesne, all you have to do is afford it. Also, not to draw any comparison to the fact that the school's full name, TD, is Duquesne University of the Holy Spirit, or DUS. So there you have it. No commercial this week. My apologies to Duke Ellington, Duke of Earl, Dukes of Hazzard, Dukes Mayo, or TD. Joe, what is your favorite Duke?
Oh,
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard, man. That Dukes of Hazzard's a good one.
Actually, I have a dog named Duke.
Wait a minute.
There you go.
I have a retriever out here.
The Duke.
A lab. I have a yellow lab. I have a yellow lab named Duke. 8 years old, almost 9.
If you want to scare some kids, go look at the Duquesne mascot, the Duke, and look at that picture. Maybe put it up for Halloween. It's kind of frightening. That's in all honesty. TD, are you ready for your trivia question? Because America and the world is awaiting.
Oh, go ahead, man.
All right, Joe, yours is coming up, so get ready.
Oh yeah,
TD.
No, do some, get your research toolbar. Get your Google bar ready. Jesus mercy.
Joe,
Go
get
ahead.
get your Google bar ready.
Go get your.
Which postseason award has Grayson McCall not won? You have 4 choices, TD.
Oh, he has not won Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay, that's not one of your
That's
choices.
a good one. That's you're absolutely right. There you go.
However,
Hey, whoa, I win 1-0 this week. That's all we're trying to do. 1-0. All right, that's Joe's question now.
TD, your choices are
He's ready
A,
for it tonight.
the Blanchard Rogers Trophy, which is the South Carolina's version of the Heisman.
Yep.
B, the FWAA Most Inspirational Freshman Award.
He did win
C,
that.
Sun Belt Player of the Year.
He
Or
also
D,
won that.
Dan Hansen's Weekly Gazette National Player of the Week.
He won that. It's A. He has not won. I don't think he's won the state Heisman. No, wait a minute.
I think
You
he
can call
did.
timeout. You
No,
have
he
to,
did. Yeah, he won it. He won the Sun Belt. He won the State's Award. Blanchard. I'm going to go with the Blanchard Award. He has not won the Blanchard
TD,
Award.
is that your final answer?
Yes.
TD, the correct answer is D, Dan Hansen's Weekly Gazette National Player of the Week.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. How many toes does a human being have? Go ahead and ask him that one.
Joe,
What's our head
question.
coach's name?
Joe, same question.
Who's our opponent this week? Duquesne.
Duke Wisna. Put it on for 90 seconds. Take it out.
Well, one last thing, and we'll land this plane here, is Strut Nation, gear up for this season at the Strut Store. While you're at the Strut Store, you can find koozies, mugs, shirts, tailgating, game day supplies, and so much more. The Strut Store will let you customize all the merchandise any way you want to. Just visit www.zazzle.com/store/thestrutstore.com and shop away. With daily and weekly discounts, I can say that word. This is an easy way to support Coastal Carolina's source for Chanticleer athletics. Joe, that's www.zazzle.com/store/thestrutstore to support the Strut. While there, don't forget to follow the store. They will text you or email you updates, discount information, and notifications when they are available. TD, make sure you go visit www.zazzle.com/store/thestrutstore.
Hey, we got an update on some of the merch too. So that's our, that's kind of that's a fun little boutique place. You can go get some neat things on that. But Bob at Coastal Marketing, hats have gone well. Look, we've got some pre-orders. I've got them in hand. If you ordered them, I'll be at the game Saturday to get them to you. I got 2 sleeves of them ready to be bought. Again, $25. The women's fitness tanks, the women's fitness tanks, that'll be $20. We'll have those in hand Friday. And then the decals we're working on next week. So hopefully by Georgia State we'll have those. But again,
and we got Venmo set up, right, TD?
We got Venmo. Yep, we got Venmo set up. So I'll post that tonight so you can prepay, and that way you can go ahead and prepay them, and I'll have them at the game. Again, we got black and heather gray, and we also have black tank tops with the Strutty on the front and on the back. And again, decals of the Strutty coming. Hopefully, the Georgia State game. Bob's working on those for us. But again, hey, man, gentlemen, I'm excited about Saturday, man. And look, I know people get looked down on these games and don't get too jazzed up about them. I am. This is a great week to get a lot of kids in. I'd love to see us get 3-4 deep at every position. If we're doing well, Grayson should come out for one drive, maybe 2 at most, but one drive at minimum in the second half, and then he sets his helmet down and that's it, and everybody else can get in. I'd like to see the kid from Kansas get in. I'd like to see Jared Guest in this offense get in and see what he could do. I'd like to see what Blake Bodie can do, man. Get some of these kids in. Let them,
The kid from Kansas did get a snap the other night.
He did get a snap the other night because of Grayson had to come out for a helmet malfunction or something like that. So, but I'm excited. Chili?
I'm excited, TD, because this is my debut, Joe and TD, as a member of the press for a home Coastal football game.
Yeah.
We'll see up on the fourth. We'll see up on the 4th floor.
Hopefully, I can make it into the post game so I can maybe ask a couple of questions.
You absolutely should. You absolutely should. You can get over there.
Hey, see Chili at the press corps. See TD in the tailgate, teal lot before and after the game for hats, tanks, and then decals.
And don't forget to go by, if you're an alumni, go by the alumni tailgate. I will be out there.
That's right.
Handing out free swag, shaking hands, getting everybody to sign up for the Alumni Association, because TD, you and I and Joe all know that is a very important part of our university experience. So please make sure you're participating in as many alumni events as possible, because it's a fun way to meet your fellow Chanticleers and network and just get to know everybody.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you what weather should be absolutely perfect Saturday night.
Immaculate.
So there's no reason, there's no excuse not to get a ticket and come on out.
Oh man, I saw where
If you don't have one already.
Andrew Dockery and Ed Piotrowski put out their weather for WMBF and WPD, and again, immaculate. I mean, the dew points are down, the humidity is going to be low, pure sunshine. There's literally no excuse. No excuse. Get out there early. Hey, and thank you to the students. Great job, man. You got out there. You got out there early. And I know that there's been some things. They're working through that with the university. I think that's awesome, the engagement. But hey, great job being out there early. And look, proud of what they did, man. And let's get some teal cheeks and some teal seats, gentlemen.
There you go. All right, let's do a shots up, guys. I think we got this one all wrapped up.
Shots up.
Shots up.